if there's one thing that we know for certain from the first Trump presidency is that he will pour through staff, right? He will hire all of these people. He will tell you how great they are. They're the best they ever were, the best that these positions ever had. My apologies. And how this person's going to do great and this person's going to do great. And he talks them up because he hires only the best people. And eventually he turns on them. He turns on everyone eventually. And he's eventually going to turn on the people he's hired this time around too, which means people like the new press secretary need to watch their words, because they're going to have sound bites floating around out there that are going to come back to bite them in the ass, right? Donald Trump has no problem firing your ass via tweet the first time you do or say something that doesn't fit the narrative or agenda. We saw it over and over and over again for 4 years. We may see it over and over and over again this 4 years. Midas touched a nerve with the press secretary. The press secretary barked back, and this is going to be one of those sound bites that Midas Touch is going to be able to recall when this woman loses her job because Donnie turned on her. Watch this.
So it appears that we've upset the White House press secretary. Let me explain. We recently had Jim Acosta as a guest on the Midas Touch podcast, and he had some very choice words for Caroline Leavitt, the new White House press secretary. Well, apparently she's been thinking about it quite a bit because she felt the need to respond at CPAC this week. First, let me play you Acosta's comments on the Midas Touch podcast.
You know, I mean, it's hard to see somebody out Spicer, Sean Spicer, or out Sarah Huckabee Sanders, but Caroline Leavitt, she's making a run for it. She just might get on Trump's all-star team of liars. They're such bad liars. I mean, it's sort of like, if anybody has kids out there, when your kid is telling you a tall tale and you're just looking at them like, okay, Johnny, sure. Yeah, I believe you. And you just walk away saying, what the hell? That kid's, not telling me the truth.
So this was clearly weighing on Caroline Leavitt's mind because the second Jim Acosta's name was brought up at CPAC, she had to respond. Watch this.
First of all, since you brought up Jim Acosta, he's been saying some not so nice things about me online, and I've resisted responding, but since you brought him up, I'd like to say, let's go, Jim, at least I have a job, Jim, okay? Just saying.
Well, Caroline, thanks for listening to the pod. Also, did you get our submission to be in the White House press room? Because we haven't heard back yet.
I can't wait to see that clip come back in a video down the road after Trump dumps her off, which is inevitable. It is inevitable. Everything Trump touches dies. ETTD. It's been proven over and over and over and over and over and over again to be true. At some point in the next 4 years, he's going to turn on her. She's going to lose her job. And Midas Touch, and it should get Jim Acosta back on the podcast that day, and they should play that goddamn clip.